The DayZ 1.19 update is finally here on the experimental branch after a 3-month wait, one of the longest gaps between updates to date. However, a quick look at what's to come and it all seems so worth it. If you're playing on the PC version or Xbox version of the game, you can hop onto the experimental branch of DayZ to try it for yourself. Remember to submit all your findings to the DayZ feedback tracker to help improve the game. Unfortunately, if you're playing on the PlayStation edition, you'll have to wait for the official release. This usually only takes a few weeks, although with the size of the update I can imagine it may take just a little longer. But fear not, because today I'm going to be delving into all the information that we have on the update and showcasing all the new items, features and locations, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss out on this one. And like all update videos, let's start with the introduction of the new weapons. DayZ first teased us with this image on Twitter, but members of the community were quick to realise that the shadow of the gun does not match that of any guns currently in the game, and after the release of a recent DayZ TikTok, it is clear that the rifle is an SSG-82, a bolt-action sniper chambered in 5.45 by 39. The most interesting thing about this sniper is that it comes with its own unique scope. The scope is always attached and remotely resembles that of a PU scope. Additional things to note about the weapon is that it's exclusively found in police stations and other similar police locations. It doesn't take any other suppressor apart from the improvised one and can take a 5-round mag also found within police station loot. These are the following animations and sounds.
It looks the animation. It's better.
Yeah. That's cool. Nice.
Now, this is not the only weapon come in this patch. A BK-12 was briefly and potentially only accidentally shown in the Twitch stream earlier today. Aesthetically, it looks very similar to the double-barreled shotgun, apart from the obvious fact it only has one barrel, so we can assume it's an alternative one-shot shotgun. In the same TikTok, we can see the introduction of a new vehicle, an armoured Humvee, and boy does it look awesome. What's important to note about the Humvee is that it's the first vehicle to have an automatic transmission, meaning that you will not manually need to change your gears. This is interesting as it gives the opportunity for modders to implement their own automatic vehicles. Now, there's been quite a couple of car changes added this patch. The first most notable one is that of the hood, as it is a lot more informative, letting you know about additional car parts rather than just the engine, such as brakes. For example, if you're braking too much, you can lock your wheels and end up losing control of your car. They even now have added a handbrake, so if you're skilled enough you can try drifting, but most excitingly, you can now honk your car. And I'm certain this isn't going to be abused. Another interesting item revealed in the stream seems to be some sort of blowtorch, which was mentioned to be used as a tool for repairing cars, but what exact part, I'm unsure. However, my favourite new item has to be that of the new GPS. Taking a 9-volt battery, it will reveal your grid coordinates. And if you have this item in your inventory, it'll appear at the bottom of a map, making it the perfect tool for locating yourself. Additionally, if you have a compass, it will also show you what direction you are facing. By default, this is all. However, servers on both PC and console will have the option to enable it to actually show the player's physical location with a dot, with the additional ability to make it a requirement to need a GPS to show the location or to have it on by default. So, for all you who are still getting lost, this is an absolute godsend. The GPS even attaches to your backpack, much like a personal radio. We can't discuss 1.19 without talking about the bunkers. At least one bunker will be coming to Livonia, and was teased on Twitter. Now, the devs were very reluctant to showcase any more of the bunker as they want people to explore it for themselves. However, we do know it will be down south in the woods of Livonia, along with a new military base as teased in this photo. Wobo actually has a really good theory on the exact location, so I recommend watching his video. In addition to bunkers, we have more dynamic events coming this update, the first in the form of a crashed military convoy. These work much like helicopter crash sites and will appear randomly around the map, with over 30 locations on both Chernobyl and Livonia. Now, they will be heavily guarded by infected, so please be careful. However, it could be a great opportunity to grab some military loot. Do remember though, these aren't as good as helicopter crash sites, so don't expect to find anything too amazing. However, having said this, we can see that in this stream, they were lucky enough to find an AK and a HE grenade shell. The second dynamic events are a rework of police cars that used to spawn around the map. These have been revamped to feel more alive and offer a load of different variation with different situations a police car would be involved in, such as a car crash, roadblock or even a prison transport. Now, one of the more noticeable changes this patch is that of the player controller. A lot more weight has been added to running. When turning, you'll feel it a lot more. This will greatly reduce the effectiveness of a zigzag. Here is a comparison between the old and the new zigzag. To go along with this, your character will not be able to run in waist deep water, instead only jog. However, both of these movement changes are entirely customable by the server, so if this turns out to be something that you don't like, there's bound to be other communities which have reverted it to the old ways. And that's a common theme I've been seeing throughout this update, so people can build a tailored experience of what they want to play. This change being that once bleeding, a small bleed animation will now appear on your screen. Each animation is different to indicate what type of bleed you have. So, for example, if you have a light bleed, the animation will be smaller, but the heavier the bleed, the bigger the animation. The next small feature is that of the impact sounds for objects when hitting other materials. The main implementation of this is to make it easier for players to hear grenades being thrown, however works with all items. Here is a perfect example.
Right now.
In addition to little features, we also have a few new clothing items. The first being the eye patch. This is crafted with rags and actually partially limits your vision. It has no medical use but looks pretty cool. The next, while not shown in the stream, was teased in previous pictures, a black plate carrier. These have existed forever with PC mods, but should be a nice addition to console to finally complete your full black loadout. However, it might be a little harder to complete that full loadout this patch, as they've made it considerably harder to find pristine items, with items now more commonly spawning in damaged or badly damaged states. With this update comes a focus on Livonia, and a lot of Livonia's map has changed. Most of these changes have already been teased in previous livestreams, and seeing the devs drive around Livonia today, you can really see how it already feels more alive, with the additional carnivals, medical buildings, clearance, hunting cabins, and even the dynamic events. One of the coolest locations are the quarries. The devs even visited one at the end of their stream today, although there is a much bigger quarry located on a map just north of Nadbor, said to be even bigger than the one on Chernerus. While they look awesome, they are also very practical and will be one of the best places to find plastic explosives and remote detonators. However, what's important to note is that the devs are unsure if the new Livonia will be playable for the experimental on Xbox. If this is the case, you'll be able to play experimental but just on Chernerus. The final and last detail I want to mention about this update is the water reflections. You can see them in the dev stream at the quarry and they just look amazing. That's all for today's video. Hop onto my Discord below or drop a comment to discuss the update further and let me know what you think of it and what you're most excited for. I personally can't wait to hop onto experimental tomorrow, try to get my hands on the new sniper while I hunt for the Humvee. Catch you in the next one.